What's up, folks? You're listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. This is Mike Early, and tonight I'm joined in virtual studio with some of my very good friends. We have James John, Ken Miller, and from the offices of Kaufman and Lynn, of course, Mr. Jeffrey Kaufman. Gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty damn good, bro. Look at us. It's Thursday. About to be Friday.
Bro, and I'm back to drinking too.
Ken Miller, I was just about to say, what is that? That doesn't look like iced tea. What you got there, man?
And so I did. Matter of fact, the show James about to do this weekend, the LOL, in Winter Haven. The lady that's one of the owners also has a bar down the street.
Yep.
Ashta, and Ashta gave me one of their signature whiskey. What's whiskey?
He calls it a quarter malt.
That might be it. But a whiskey something. And she gave me 2 bottles, and I gave one to my brothers for Christmas. And one of them I kept. So I've been drinking her since I think I did that club in December. So I've had that bottle for a couple. I got one bottle, and one I gave to my brothers.
Nice.
But that's what I'm drinking now. So I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Okay. So when you did your resolution in January, was that just for the month, or
it was for the month of January? I wanted to see if I could go a full 30 days without drinking, and I did slip. I told you guys I slipped when I was gonna beat the person up in Ocala. I did slip, and then on the 31st, Junior's birthday was the 30th, so on the 31st, I had a drink with my son for his birthday, and so. But
I actually haven't done that yet, and I can't wait, man.
Bro. And let me tell you something. And the thing is, James, they don't drink. So my son went to the bar. This is his 21st last year. He goes to the bar. He's like, hey, he wanted a shot. And so he walks up to these 2 white ladies at the bar. Beautiful, by the way, beautiful white women. And because that's what he's into. He's into white women. He walks up to these white ladies. He's trying to rap to them. Now, understand this, Mike. These women are old. Like, they're old. Like, I look at them and tell they're in their late 30s, early 40s. But Junior's over there being Junior, and I don't know where he get that from because I'm a good Christian man. I don't talk to him like that. And he's over there, Junior being, and they're just like, aw. And then I come over, I'm like, yeah, this is my son. He just turned 21. I'm Ken. And the lady's like, the comedian? I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, oh. And so they're talking to me, and Junior's like pushed to the background. And I was like, yeah, my son just turned 21. They was like, oh, can we buy you a shot? He orders a Long Island iced tea.
Oh, wow.
He thought that was a shot.
That is a rookie move. That is a rookie move.
So
I like some spirits.
So Jeff, they bring him the drink, the Long Island iced tea. He was like, yo, what is this, Dad? I said, Long Island iced, that's what you ordered.
Yeah.
Said, I thought it was a shot. I said, no, bro, they don't make long. I said, I get you a shot if you want a shot.
Yeah.
He says, oh, Dad, I thought it was a shot. And those ladies was like, oh, that's so cute.
Long Island iced teas are the rookie. I just like when I was bartending. If you walked in and ordered a Long Island iced tea, automatically IDing you. I don't care how old you look. You're one of those kids who's like you're one of those kids who's like, man, I hear Long Island iced teas have like 5 different liquors in them, so we can get one of those. Yeah, here's the thing. Same amount of liquor, dude, just different liquors. And when you're young, your stomach can handle mixing all those different liquors. When you're old, if I have a Miller Lite and then I have a Jameson 2 hours later, don't call me for 72 hours. Yeah, it's done, man. It's done. I'm out. I can't wake up in the morning. It's horrible.
Either you're underaged or you're Michelle Gellar's or Jan.
Yeah. Because she does the blue ones, right?
She likes the blue. Yeah, electric Long Island lemonade.
So Mike. So twice I did slip up, but then like I had like Crown, like real, like because I had with Junior, I can't remember what I had a old fashioned. Those are the only 2 drinks I had during the 31 days. But then when I got done with it, I had Crown. I had 1 glass of Crown, and Jeff, I was so drunk because I hadn't had Crown in like 31 days. I had 1 glass of Crown. I was wasted.
Speaking in tongues.
I was wasted on 1. And then like 2 days later, I was at the Improv at Genesis show. I had 2 glasses of Crown, wasted.
Ken Miller put me on a show at the Improv.
Yeah, your liver was clean, man.
But now I'm back to normal.
Gotcha.
So Mike,
hey man, how was the show? I actually saw some clips from it. Looked like people were doing well.
Let me tell you something, dog. Them winners, Jolly and his boys packed that thing out. It had to be 300 some people. They ain't sell it out, but it was a good 3. It was filled all the way up to the back, and then like the back row was all comedians. Had comedians in the back, so they had a good 300 people in there. My only thing to them was I had to let people know and understand, if you're coming to a Genesis show, Miss Hope was the host. They had 3. I did a guest spot, 2 other guest spots. Jolly feature, and Genesis was the headliner. If you're coming to a Genesis show, it's going to be R-rated. It's going to be some sex, some cussing, some B words, some N words. And this lady messaged me, and that's just one, right? And this lady messaged me, bro, and she was like, "Oh my God, I went to the show last night, and it was so many B words, N words, sex, this." And I said, "Oh yeah, it's Genesis. Like that's what this show entails. Like you didn't look them up, like you should look them up. That's." And we try to put on a website for him that it's going to be R-rated. And she was like, "Yeah, but it was just too much for me." And I was like, "You know, what do you want me to tell you? You got in for free. Like you didn't pay. Like if you paid for the tickets, I would have felt bad for you, but I didn't feel bad for the lady that you got in for free. You could have got up and just walked your ass out."
I find out that people complain less. People complain less when they pay. I'm telling you,
is true.
I think this is what I learned with my comic books. The same thing. If somebody doesn't pay for the book, they're less likely to read it, and they're more likely to criticize it. You know, I was doing a panel. This guy goes up. I was reading your book online, and I was really upset. I said, first off, I don't offer my books online. So it's like a car thief complaining about the quality of the radio.
Yeah. I stole this car. I didn't even got a 6-disc changer in it. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I was watching New York Undercover today. They were stealing cars today. So yeah, Mike, I'm back off, man. I'm off. I'm back drinking again, but not as heavily as I used to. I promised my wife 2 drink minimum. 2 drink maximum, I mean, and I'm done. I'm not doing a normal Ken Miller. I'm 7 to 8 drinks in, and I'm wilding, because I feel like when I'm sober, like I understand the environment around me. I don't say nothing stupid. I don't do nothing stupid. But I realize when I'm drinking and I'm cigarred up,
you read the room.
James. I read the room better when I'm sober. So
see, I feel like we should do like a reverse AA sponsorship. I feel like the next time you feel like you need to quit, you should come to me, and I should talk you into all the reasons why you should have a drink.
I like that.
Hey, man, life is hard, and sometimes it's easier to deal with. You know, if you just have a couple of crowns, take the edge off. You can go home. You know, you can put your problems away till tomorrow, and that's how we survive in this life, by pushing off tomorrow what should be dealt with today.
Damn, bad idea, Barris, man. That's what it was about.
Hey, well, there we go. Hey, I'm calling you from going forward.
There you go. Life is hard, so it's liquor.
You're like, hey, Mike, I'm about to go to AA meeting. I should call Mike. I'm like, meet me at a bar now. We're going to talk through this.
Which I've been to an AA meeting.
Yeah, me too.
I've been to one. My therapist was like, "I want you to go to an AA meeting." And I was like, "All right, man, I'll go." And because I tell him, I said, my father was an alcoholic. Like I know an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I legit can stop drinking. Like when I wasn't, I think we talked about this the other day on the show. When I wasn't drinking, I didn't miss drinking.
Right.
Like my father, to his deathbed, had to drink 2 beers
to feel normal.
Because his body was like, where the alcohol at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've been to an AA meeting. Them dudes was in there. They had killed somebody drunk driving. They had woke up and burnt their house. Like, and all I did was drive home and get into an argument with my wife.
Yeah. You got to go to the Bay Hill AA meetings. You can't. You got to stay away from the Pine Hill Bay AA meetings.
I got to go to the one in Malibu.
Yeah. You get that one. You go. Barbie didn't used her money on her face money.
And when you go to those meetings, it's kind of the same as like if you feel like you're a bit of a pack rat and then you watch Hoarders and all of a sudden you go, oh, I'm not that bad.
I'm not that bad.
Like, I've been to meetings. There's a comic that's no longer with us. I won't name names, but he was going to quite a couple of meetings. And one night he actually had an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And then he also had a sex addicts meeting. And it was going to save me time just to sit through the meetings to drive him from one to the other rather than drop him off, go back, pick him up. And both those meetings I went into because, you know, I had a close family member who went through the whole, you know, all the steps and everything like that. So I'm like, let me see what he went through in these things. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Ken. Walking in there and sitting down and listening to people sharing, even on my worst night of drinking, I kind of felt like a fraud being there because I felt like these are people who need help and I don't need this level. I felt like, man, I shouldn't be in here because this is some personal stuff going on. And, I've just woken up in a air mattress deflated cover with my own urine once. That's
Mike, you were just Frosty the Snowman throwing up on the side of the road.
Wow.
I'm melting. Yeah, true story.
I'm melting, which is a true story. Yeah, I'm the same way.
You want a good AA meeting? You go to a first appearance. That's the best way. You go. I'll take you down to the jail, and you watch a first appearance. You'll never drink again because they're reading what all these guys do, and you could see the guy who got a little too hammered, and he's handcuffed to these big two dudes, and he had to work that one out that night. And if that don't sober you up, nothing will.
It's true.
Wow. Now, do you, Jeff, like whenever you have clients and alcohol is involved, do you kind of coach them to get into meetings before the trial to show the judge that they're taking steps towards things, or is it deny?
Well, when I used to do criminal defense and stuff like that, I talk to them, but the truth is this, people are some people have to hit the bottom.
Yeah. And
if I have to tell them where that bottom is, then they're not there. And that's what happens when you're talking about addiction and stuff like that. Because what's that line from was that A League of Their Own? I have seen enough to know I've seen too much.
Yep.
And yeah, that was Squiggy. But I mean, I've seen. God, I wish I can't even talk about it. Well, when somebody wakes up and he realizes he killed somebody, what are you supposed to tell him? Because the truth is that alcohol, you can't blame alcohol the reason why you hurt somebody. No. So you're still guilty of the crime. So a guy who doesn't remember, they're blackout drunks, man, who do some really bad stuff. And when I used to do criminal offense, I talked to somebody who goes, I don't remember this, man. It just happens. And I'm going, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. We'll do our best. But, it happens when I'm doing, I do personal injury now. So I get a lot of cases where a drunk driver killed somebody, maimed somebody, did that stuff. And, I'm sure his criminal defense attorney's probably giving him some good advice like that. But that's the problem. You get that wheel. And even me, I was out at Oasis on the river, and people were feeding me drinks. It's the radio show listeners are giving me. They go, here, try Jeff. We love you. Here, drink this. And then before you know it, you're going, I'm not standing as well as I used to stand.
Yeah.
That's always a sign when you go, wait a minute. Walking is something.
Yeah, when you walk and do the stanky leg, you've been drinking.
And you wonder how long is it going to take for me to be able to get behind my car? And an hour goes by and you go, well, is that enough? And it's probably not. Just break out that Uber app.
And I will say this, like during my heavy drinking days, like my 20s and the early 30s and last week, things were kind of different. But no, in all seriousness nowadays, man, you got Uber. Like there is literally no excuse. I had a buddy in Colorado who got hit with a DUI about 5 years ago, and it took everything he had financially and legally. He lost his job over it. He had to start all over. And he's like, man, now he's like, I even Uber if I've had a drink. Just because with that on my record, if I get pulled over or anything, just have it on my breath. I don't even want to go through the effort of proving that I'm not intoxicated. He's like, if I go out and I know I'm going to drink, I'm either riding with someone or I'm Ubering. And that's just how it is nowadays. Yeah. Hey, guys, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, Ken Miller wants to know what you're doing for Valentine's Day. We're going to find out right here on Real Laughs. And if you're a guy who hasn't made plans yet, you better get moving. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Folks, welcome back. You're still listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm Mike Hurley, joined in virtual studio with a couple of my good friends, Mr. Ken Miller, James John, and from the law offices of Kaufman and Lind, of course, Mr. Jeffrey Kaufman. Now, it's funny because about a month ago on this show, I said, guys, I always get sucker punched by Valentine's Day. It's not happening this year. I'm starting now. I'm planning ahead. I'm hitting up Amazon. I'm making reservations. I'm doing what I got to do. And I'm here today to tell you I failed. I didn't do any of it. I talked a big game, and then I'm exactly in the same position now where I'm looking on Amazon going, what can be here by Monday, whether they like it or not? So, Ken, I know James is the family man, and he always does Valentine's right. But Ken, being a recovering gentleman for the ladies and being married now for quite a few years, do you still go all out on Valentine's Day?
I have to. My wife will do a drive-by from here to Brooklyn. I have to, and I know she's not gonna listen, so I'll tell you guys what we got planned. So
okay,
nice.
On the 13th, which is the day before Valentine's Day, we are going to Ocean Prime, which is her favorite restaurant, to have something to eat. So we're gonna do that first, and then get home in time to watch the Super Bowl. Because she's like, look, if you be taking Ocean Prime, I don't mind sitting watching some football. And we're gonna pick some barbecue up at Jimmy Bear's. So Jimmy Bear's, go get your barbecue from Jimmy Bear's. And then on Valentine's Day, I hooked up with one of my homeboys that works at Universal that got me a resort. So I'm doing a resort thing, the spa resort. So we're gonna do a staycation, spend a night, man. And then the next morning I'm gonna be working, and she's gonna be getting massaged up, and that's gonna be our Valentine's.
Is that what happens when you're like a 7 and she's a 10?
Well, hey, I take a 7. Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, what can I tell you, man?
With me,
I'm a supportive guy.
You little bitch.
Hey, that's because you're funny, and you get a couple points for being funny.
How about you, Mr. Yan? Is Valentine's Day a big day with Mrs. Yan nowadays?
You'll be surprised to learn, not at all. We do not like celebrating Valentine's Day. That's just not Michelle's
Which
thing.
is crazy, Jay, because y'all are big, like Thanksgiving, Christmas.
But that's about family, not about individual.
See, they're not suckers.
That's why.
See, that's Valentine's. These two look like they're smart. His wife's smart. She's not. She doesn't buy into the sucker stuff.
Well, I can't say that. That's not what it is. I mean, I have nothing wrong with people who celebrate Valentine's Day and have a great time. It's just at my age and how long we've been together, it never ends well when you go out that night. It just always, you rush to get places, a lot of people. When you go there, the service is not the best. And you guys can attest to this working in the food industry or hospitality. The service is never the best on Valentine's Day because everybody's so packed. The kitchen is crashing. Everybody's trying to rush and pack people into spaces they normally don't fit people. It's not the best night to go out anywhere. So for us, it's not a big deal. I'm actually working on Valentine's Day, so we can save some money. Doing shows,
And Mr. Jeff, Heart of Darkness Kaufman, down there. You just see, you see, like I wasn't expecting that reaction from you. It's all a scam. You seem like a romantic. What's going on down there?
It's kind of funny. Heart of Darkness. The Apocalypse Now is based on Heart of Darkness.
Sure.
A lot of people don't know that. Listen, it is what it is. I was married for 25 years. I suffered through more bad Valentine's Day. You're out, you're crowded, set menus. Nothing worse is a set menu. They charge you 3 times as much, and the food is 3 times worse than it normally is. And I don't know. I think if you're romantic throughout the year,
that's where
I don't think you have to deliver on one day.
I wish, bro. I wish. I'm serious, man. I really wish it was like that in my house, but my wife is a romantic, and that's just how it. When it's holidays, she won't. We got to do something special.
Your wife likes to be wooed.
Yeah, and you met me. Y'all know, all met my wife. You already know. And James, you interviewed my wife like 4 times. You know how she does.
And every time she told me, by the way, if Ken's listening, I like to be wooed. That's what she says every single time. I expect to be wooed when I get home.
I'm a good person. I take care of people year round. I mean, I don't think of it like I've never been the guy. How can I put it? The guy who doesn't show respect, the guy who doesn't deliver. So, I always deliver. I just feel it's kind of a little weird to only deliver on one day a year. And that's what a lot of guys do. They show up one day a year and their girls put up with it. That's why we talked about the binging that show on Netflix is that these women, some women just buy, if they love you, they'll put up with your stuff. But one time a year, you better show up.
So James, just curious. So is this something recent that y'all stopped doing? Did y'all do Valentine's Day in the early days? Or
when we were in high school, here's what happened. Everything changes when you had kids, brother. You no longer focus on you. It's all about what's the kids doing. Who has practice today?
Oh yeah, you got to do the Valentine's Day cards for the whole classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So at some point, we were tired of trying to always rush and do something last minute Valentine's Day because we were doing stuff with the kids. And at some point, we're just like, you know what, baby, I love you. We buy you, I buy you stuff. You buy me stuff throughout the year. We don't have to show our love on this one day. I'm good. And she's like, really? I'm good too. So we just kind of came to that mutual agreement that we don't have to celebrate our love on Valentine's Day.
So we
cool,
big
man.
Gifts that people give each other on Valentine's Day. Have you ever been uncomfortable when you got that gift that you just really didn't like?
I'm never got one. My wife knows it. Like my wife will
never got a Valentine's gift. That's great.
I've never got a Valentine's Day gift. I've gotten cards. Like I've gotten cards like when you were a kid and you brought your little brown paper bag in and everybody left you the thing, and then you're checking to see if the girl you really like left you like the unique Valentine, or she gave you the same cheap one she gave like 5 other people. Remember that? Like but like as far as gifts, that's I don't know, man. Yeah. I've just never had a girl like Happy Valentine's Day. Here's something from me to you. I've never had that.
You deliver like the good jewelry and get nothing in return.
Laptops, cameras.
I've never been a gift getting person. Like I like to give gifts.
We're not good at receiving them.
I've always been that giver of person. But I'm gonna throw this back to you, Hurley. So you got kids. Your kids are in school. Are they doing the Valentine's Day school thing where they get a bunch of cards with like the sucker in it, or take it to school? And are your kids into that?
Yeah, like the past few years. I'm not sure if the oldest one, he's in middle school now, so I'm not sure if that's kind of aged out. The youngest one, definitely, you still bring your little box and you get your Valentine's cards and stuff like that. But yeah, I tried to with my boys. I tried to make sure they always get something for their mom. So I go shopping for or with them because that's the big thing around here. Like take care of mom on the holidays. And I think that's natural. Like when I said I've never got a gift for Valentine's Day, I've also never expected a gift from anyone for Valentine's Day because I'm with Ken.
I'm like that on every holiday. Like Christmas, like my birthdays. I'm just like like even that gets something. If not, I'm cool.
Even holidays with my family, it got awkward like 2 years ago because I always bring something down for my brothers, and my dad pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, your brothers asked, since they didn't get anything for you, they don't want you to give them anything." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, but it's not like I'm not expecting to get anything back. I brought them gifts."
They feel bad, man.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You don't want me to give you a gift, yet you still owe me $250 from that loan I gave you last week. So don't act like all high and mighty. Like my gift was going to be the same gift card amount as the loan you owe me. So it all works out in the wash. But I don't know, man. It really is. People say it's about giving in, and it's so I feel awkward when people give me things. Like it makes me feel weird. Like I will buy dinner or lunch for anyone, but I have a hard time when people buy lunch or dinner or anything for me. I'm like,
I know you are horrible at that because I'll buy your lunch and you'll be like, damn, man, like you look like. I just don't get why you would do that. Like, I'm like, it's okay.
When I took both you to lunch.
Hey, James, it's a $5 foot long.
Hey, man,
I got it, bro. Man, James, if you need a kidney, I got you.
No, you're like, wow.
No, I will say when Jeff Kaufman came on the lowdown and he was about to leave and he had his whole entourage and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Well, last time when Dan Newland was here, he took us all to lunch over at Cooper's Hawk." And then I'm like, "Okay, Dan Newland's never been here, but if he was, he would fly us out on his jet to the Cooper's Hawk in Las Vegas." And without missing a beat,
in Colombia.
Without missing a beat, Jeff Kaufman's like, "We can go to Cooper's Hawk. We're taking you to Cooper's Hawk." And we're like, "Are we really going to Cooper's Hawk?" I'll let someone buy at Cooper's Hawk.
See, that sounds familiar, except when I said, "Hey, you want to go lunch?" Yeah, we're good. And then suddenly I see him on jet boots, like the Roadrunners after him. I was like, "Oh, I guess we're going."
If Kaufman heard about Newland, Kaufman take you to Colombia.
Yeah. No, I don't have Newland money. But,
Newland got different money. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So Ken, Jeff brings up a good point. You're doing all this for the lady. Does she do anything back for you gift wise?
Yeah. Oh, Sean's great with gifts.
Yeah,
Sean is great with gifts. Yes. She listens and listens, and she knows me. I'm simple. Barbecue,
cigars.
Whiskey, cigars,
or some Air Force Ones.
Yeah, some Air Force
Ones.
Super simple when it comes to gifts, man. I'm not one of them dudes where it's hard. But my wife came here and got me a cigar. I'm like, "Oh, thank you, baby." My wife bought me, she was supposed to give me a smoker for Christmas, and some stuff fell through, and we had other stuff we needed to worry about.
You wanted another smoker.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to Yeah, I wanted the new. I want one that it was like $500.
Gotcha.
And I was told, I said, you know, she was supposed to get it for me for Christmas, but man, some stuff fell through and we had bills to pay. And I was like, just get it for me for Christmas. You know,
my thing. What happened if she gave you like a box of Cuban cigars? Would you like lose your mind,
bro? Hey, I'll be smoking that. I'll be smoking it right here on the air of real Cubans, Jeff. Right here in my house, and the smoke detector right here.
Ken, when you get those cigars, you call your boy. I will come over and have one with you.
Oh, hey, I got a box for you too.
You do?
I got a box for you. I got a couple boxes of cigars here. Shout out to Jim Colbert. I got a couple boxes of cigars. Dog.
Gotcha.
And Ken, I will say this. You brought up a good point. I didn't really think about it till you said it. I am not easy to buy for. Like, number one, I don't buy a lot of things for myself. Number two, I don't have a lot of hobbies or interests or anything. So I've always been difficult to buy for. And that's hard, but then I also have a horrible, as much as I'm a good actor and everything from time to time, I have the worst fake enjoy a gift face ever. Like, you know, that face you're supposed to make, like, whenever you open the gift your kids made for you on Father's Day with the macaroni and stuff, and you're supposed to be like, oh, just what I don't have that. I have the face that goes, what's this, and why did you wrap it in something?
Hey, you know what's crazy about that? I remember before I bought my house, my kid says, Dad, what you want for Father's Day? And I said some macaroni necklaces and a Chipotle gift card. And I was serious.
Right.
And Mike, if I can find a picture, I'll send it to you.
They made you a macaroni
necklace and gave me a Chipotle gift card. I wasn't joking. I said that's what I wanted. I wasn't, you know, my wife knows I'm a Tar Heel fan. What you want for Christmas? Some Tar Heel shirts. I need new Tar Heel shirts.
Get me anything that's utilitarian. And I like it. Like shoes, I'll wear them. I told you my best Christmas gift came from my son Noah, who bought me a 2 terabyte external hard drive. I'm gonna use it. I needed it for a purpose, and I actually use it every day at my job. Something that I can actually use.
And James, you like, don't you get a pair of Air Force Ones? Is it birthday or Christmas?
Both now. Michelle gets me one on my birthday and for Christmas. She just
I'm simple, bro. I'm super simple, man. If you date, my wife knows what I like, man. My wife knows what I like, so it's not, you know, it's not hard to shop for me.
My kids are like, "What do you want for Father's Day?" I'm like, "My life back." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'll take a tie." I'll take a tie, I guess. I'll take a tie. And can you make sure it's strong? Something that like you wrap around your neck and like a rafter. It can really hold up. Just so you know. Hey guys, on that note, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl, Joe Rogan and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Stick around right here on Real Laughs 104.1. There we go. Welcome back, folks. You're still listening to Real Laughs right here on Real Radio 104.1. I'm Mike Hurley, joined in virtual studio with James John, Ken Miller, and from the law offices of Kaufman and Lind, Mr. Jeffrey Kaufman. Now, guys, before the break, Ken, I didn't see you last week, right? We weren't on the show together last week. You had some family stuff going on. You were checking out. Yeah, our man Pat Garrity was at the Improv. You wanted to check him out.
Such a great show. Love
as soon as I heard the announcement for who was going to be playing the halftime show at the Super Bowl, all I could think was Ken Miller somewhere is like crip walking right now. Like, and look, he's even doing it right now. So I know I was 100% correct. Ken, just to recap, who is on this lineup for the Super Bowl?
Y'all missed it. We talked about this earlier this week too, Mike, man, but we gonna keep talking about it, brother. We got Snoop Dogg, we got Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar. Who I missed, James?
Is it 50 Cent too?
Fetty might show up. Ice Cube might show up. Like, bro, like, and it's funny because, like, you know, people are upset about it because they're like, you know, NWA did a song in the 90s called F the Police. So like those people are upset about it.
Okay, could we preface that for a second? When they did a song called F the Police, LAPD were doing some horrible things.
They were doing some shady stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't
shady stuff
for no reason. Yeah.
They were doing some shady stuff. LAPD killed Biggie. Just go look at the documentary. They killed Biggie. It was some LAPD. No. It was some guys that was LAPD that were on Suge Knight's staff that killed Biggie. Go. It's there. It's there. But but by the way, this is Jersey saying that. Just in case y'all come look. Jersey.
Can I advise you to walk that one back a little bit?
Wild in the night, bro. But I laughed about it because Mike Snoop was on the Breakfast Club. And they were talking about well, how are you going to perform these songs with cussing? And Snoop said, you got to understand, in the 90s, we had radio edits
of
all
everything.
of our songs. Remember, in the 90s, all rappers had a song that was on the CD, and they had a song that was going to be on
album
one or two
version,
jams.
album version,
and radio
version.
And it's not, and I had me and Junior was hanging the other night, Mike, and Junior was like, I was telling Junior, I said, the thing about the rappers of this day, they don't do that. If you go listen to a Lil Wayne song, it just bleeps all the words out.
Yeah.
If you go listen to a Snoop Dogg song that's on the radio, the whole song is changed.
Yeah.
If you go listen to an Ice Cube song, the Ghetto Boys, My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, the whole song is different. So Dre, Snoop, Mary J don't cuss, but Dre, Snoop, Eminem, they all had radio edits that you can do at a concert for people under 18. So I'm excited about it, man. I love the halftime show. I don't care who's on the halftime show. My favorite is Prince. Prince is probably my favorite halftime show, and Janet Jackson boob coming out. But other than that, man, I love the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is the greatest sporting event of the year, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see Snoop and Dre.
Did you?
Ken, I realize you got another Valentine's gift you didn't tell us about.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm talking about Mike Hurley paying attention when people are talking about rap. You see him? He's leaning the chair's going back and forth. He's like a jury member agreeing with me.
It's only because Eminem's going to be there. I'm slightly interested.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, me and Mike, when we rode to Alabama, Mike could tell you, I had an 8-hour conversation about
East Coast
versus West Coast beef. And hey, Jeff, this was doing a CD day. So I had to put a CD in and be like, yo, Mike, you got to listen to this. Yep. Before we had Bluetooth in the car, you could listen to what was on the phone. Now, dog, hey, dog, this what the diss really means.
And then Ken dropped me off at my house, and 2 seconds later, my phone rang, and he just kept going with the conversation. I was like, I thought I was done with this.
Don't like each other.
Yeah, I learned a lot of that trip because we were leaving Mobile, Alabama, and all of a sudden we weren't doing anything wrong. We had just got lunch. We stopped at Firehouse Subs. We got lunch. We get back on the highway, and this cop car pulls up right behind me and Ken. Ken's driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and he is on us. Like, he is just on our tail. And cars are zipping by us in the fast lane. We're in the regular travel lane. And I look at Ken, I'm like, what is this guy's problem? And Ken's like, oh, you've never been in a car with a black man before, huh? I'm like, what? He's like, dude, he's just going to stay and he stayed with us again. It had to be
until we crossed the Alabama border. He followed us until we crossed the Alabama border into the next state, and then he stopped following us.
You ever do a comedy show so bad you get a police escort out of the state?
Damn.
Yo, James, that dude followed us. I mean, I would switch lanes. He would switch lanes. I would switch back. He followed us. And when we got out of state of Alabama, he pulled off into one of those, things where you pull off as a cop and go the other way, pulled right off and kept, and that was it. He followed us all the way through Alabama.
I was talking to somebody today about that. They said, Jeff, when you used to do criminal offense, what was the worst police encounters you had ever had? And I said, the worst police encounters that ever happened to my clients were when the client was black and when the officer was black. Those were the worst.
Really?
Yeah. They were, every time, because it's kind of like how I feel when a Jewish guy in the media does something wrong. Like when Madoff stole all that money, I was going, God, he's making all of us look bad. And police officers could be a lot of African-American police officers are so tough on these stops. I mean, I would go, what'd you pull them over for? And it was like they were just making it up. And I'm going, come on. And he did something.
They rapped the NWA rapped about that. They was they said, they used to say black police showing out for the white cop. And I would say this, I've never got pulled over by, but I've got arrested. When I got arrested in high school for beating the guy with the bunk bed pole, it was a black cop. Because it was in the hood. It was the black cops patrolled the hood. Now, I will say this, he was warranted in why he, because the guy that stabbed my sister was in handcuffs, and I ran up on him and I gave him the 1-2 with the bunk bed pole. So he was warranted in throwing me up against the tree. I get it. I ain't mad at him. And the funny thing is, his name was Sergeant Hightower. His name was real tall. On everything I love, black dude, tall. His name was Sergeant Hightower. I'm not making this up. Greensboro, North Carolina. And that brother threw me up against that tree. And but he was warranted because I'd already bust dude upside the head. But when I saw the ambulance bringing my sister out my mama's house on the stretcher, something clicked to me, and I ran up with the pole, and I was hey James, when I went to court, and his head, it was his head, it was the pole, but his head, the silhouette of his head was in the pole. I like you Looney Tunes guilty with an explanation.
Yeah,
guilty with an explanation.
He dented his head.
Yeah.
And I got
all right, guys.
Probation.
So real quick,
you did a public defender?
No, I went by myself. I went up. I had no lawyer, nothing. I pleaded guilty with an explanation. I told the judge, I says, hey, man, guy stabbed my sister. I took the law in my own hand. He said, you don't take the law in your own hand. I said, well, the guy was banned from the housing projects my sister would live in. And I said, the law didn't take the law in their hand. Nobody did anything to help my sister. He was like, all right. And he gave me 5 years unsupervised probation. So, of course, I was going to the military the next year. My recruiter found out. He was like, you can't go to the Army. We got to fix this. So he got me another court date. I had to go back to court in my ROTC uniform with my recruiter. And I had a black judge. And I never forget the judge. I told the judge what happened. I told him I was going to the military. You know, at the time I was an AB honor roll student. I didn't get in trouble for nothing. I was a good kid. No. The judge ripped my record up and threw it in the trash. He said, if you ever come back to my courtroom, I'll lock you up for life. And I ain't been in trouble since.
That's funny.
Don't know if he can really lock me up. I got the lawyer on now. But Jeff, he told me he would lock me up for life. But he knew my family. My family was criminals. Like both my moms have been to jail. My cousins, my uncles, aunts, like the Millers in Greensboro are known for going to jail. I was one of the good Millers, and he was like, "Look, you come back here, dog. I'm locking you up for life." And I said,
want you to know something, Ken. You know why we get along? That's my mother. My mother's maiden name is Miller.
Yeah, y'all owned us back in the day.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
Thank you. I'll be here all night. Thank you, guys.
All right. Let's get off this awkward topic for a second. Real quick, just no real reason. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Jeff, start with you. Who's got it?
God, I gotta say it, and I think Los Angeles has it.
Really? All right, James, who you got?
Well, you know, I'm a huge football fan and kind of an expert at this, so I'm gonna go with that other team.
And I'm prone to agree with you. Ken, who's got it?
I am rooting for the Bengals, but
Me too.
I'm with Jeff. I think LA's gonna win.
You think so?
I think LA's their defense. This is the thing about the Bengals, man. They lead the league in their quarterback getting sacked. Their quarterback throughout the playoffs probably got sacked eight times a game. Which is unbelievable that they won all of those games. They averaged about 8 sacks a game. Their offensive line is terrible. But oh man,
I want to see Detroit. I want to see Detroit's ex-quarterback win as
I want to see him win as well. He had a horrible career in Detroit, and I think he had Jeff, one playoff win, maybe. Oh no,
he was a great quarterback. He just didn't have a great team.
Yeah, so
that's just where that was.
I think LA is going to win it. But if Cincy, I wouldn't be mad if any one of them won it, but I think LA is going to win it. But if Cincy won it, it'd be the first time that a quarterback has won the Heisman, won a national championship in college, and also won the Super Bowl within like 3 years.
That's amazing.
Because the Cincy quarterback is only 3 years in.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So he'll be the first quarterback to win a national championship, a Heisman, and win the Super Bowl. And it was something else he won. And being the number one pick, Heisman, national championship in college, and win the Super Bowl. I think he'll be the first quarterback to ever do that.
I mean, he's a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback,
dude, and he's so smooth too.
But he's taking a beating. He can't take it. LA's defense is too good.
Oh, he gets beat. I'm talking about 9. He gets beat up like Preacher got beat up.
And it's funny too. The league always needs superstars. They always need someone to kind of carry that name. So to see Tom Brady kind of the way out, and now you got Mahomes, you got the Bengals QB, you got a couple of young guys who look like they're going to be lifers at this point and already have kind of like celebrity superstar status, you know?
And that's why the new rules with quarterback, you can't really touch the quarterback. Like like back in the day, the quarterback could throw the ball and you hit him. You can hit him. The quarterback throw the ball now. If you just pop, you're getting 15-yard penalty.
That's the big thing people were talking about, even with the Pro Bowl. Even with the Pro Bowl, how embarrassing it was that it was just basically two-hand touch nowadays.
Two-hand touch now. It's such a bad game. Like
somebody's giving up their career for the Pro Bowl.
Somebody said this. Name them to the Pro Bowl. Name them to the Pro Bowl. But the Pro Bowl should be the two worst teams in the NFL play each other, and the winner gets the #1 draft pick.
Yeah, I think they were talking about that on the Monsters this morning. I think I heard Angel saying that.
Because the Pro Bowl is worthless. It's like the NBA All-Star game. You watch the NBA All-Star game,
it can only hurt
189 to 170. Like they scored almost 200 points. Like no defense, no nothing. It's just a show. It's a weekend for whatever that city is to make a lot of money. And Vegas made some money this week.
All right. Well, guys, we got about a minute left here. So real quick, Ken, where are you going to be at this weekend, man?
It's Valentine's weekend. I'm hanging out with my boo. I love you, LaShawn.
Fair enough. Mr. Yan, what you got going on?
I got Laugh Out Lounge this weekend, Friday and a Saturday in Winter Haven.
Love it, James.
It's
such a good room, bro. Such a good
nice. And Mr. Kaufman, where can we find you? You reffing any wrestling this weekend? What's going on?
No, March. I'm going back to professional wrestling. Actually, tomorrow I will be hosting the first episode of Under Oath.
Yes,
I will be doing that. And
that's right. Congrats. I saw the studio, man. It's looking nice. Looking very, very nice.
I'll either have Lou Ferrigno or one of the kids from the old Nickelodeon shows from Pete and Pete.
Are you serious?
I love that.
Nice.
Love that,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're going to have Lou Ferrigno swing by? You know, my mom's made... Oh, sorry.
No, he's going to be on, but he's in California. He lives in LA.
Oh. My mom's maiden name is Farino, and it's spelled the same way. So I always wanted to get face-to-face with him and let him know he's been pronouncing his name wrong the entire life.
He's 6'4". You're not going to be face-to-face.
He'll bow down to me, sir. All right, folks. On behalf, as always, if you want to listen to this episode or any other episode, feel free to check us out on the iHeartMedia app. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can find a podcast. Just look up Real Laughs. We will be there. On behalf of myself, Mike Gurley, James John, Ken Miller, and Jeff Kaufman from the law offices of Kaufman and Len. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.